State leaders are continuing to call it a pandemic of the unvaccinated. In fact, 90% of those currently in the ICU don't have the shot. That's right, Lauren. New year, new set of COVID challenges. And health officials around the state say this case increase speaks to how infectious Omicron is. Here on Route 2, heading into South Hero, the wind caused this tractor trailer behind me to crash. Neighbors say it was a busy scene this morning here in this rather quiet Derby Line neighborhood. Investigators are still here and looking into the cause of the fire. Waterbury Fire Chief Gary Dillon says he described seeing heavy hanging smoke throughout the whole building. Lauren, that's right. A bittersweet day here at the State House as Senator Patrick Leahy said, quote, "It's time to put down the gavel." Inside the airport, it may look and feel like early 2020. And I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like. Over my shoulder here, there is no one in line. And if you follow me down here and look towards baggage claim, no one in that area, no bags rolling through, no buzzards going off. We're back at Bolton Valley Ski Resort where staff and skiers are seeing significant snowfall and some wind. We are just hours out from the fair and soon rides like these will be in motion. I am on my bike, I have my helmet on, and I just completed a few laps around the trail, of course. While Saturday's cold temperatures might not make it the most ideal time to ski, if you do go out, there are a few things to know before you go. Inside Castleton Village School, lockers are completely cleared out and students' materials are put into bags. Until then, she'll be here teaching lessons and taking care of this sweet girl here. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Jolie Sherman filling in for Mike Hoey. Haley, welcome back. I see you're outside, which is a little bit of a change from Friday when you were in your warm and cozy at-home studio. But first, we turn to Montpelier, where on this New Year's Eve, the fireworks show is making a return. Neighbors say it was a busy scene in this rather quiet Derby Line neighborhood. Vermont State Police, U.S. Customs and Border Protection, and several other law enforcement agencies responded, calling it an active shooting. Now, initially, they believed there were multiple victims and multiple shooters, but police identified only one suspect, and there were no victims. The small, tight-knit community in Derby Line woke up to gunshots Monday morning. As police responded, the chaos generated comments on social media, some shocked to find out a shooting happened so close to home.
I'm a resident of Derby Line for about 10 years now, so this event definitely shook everybody.
Vermont State Police arrested 38-year-old Alfred Charest after linking his apartment to the gunfire and a .22 caliber handgun. Police say several bullets hit neighboring apartments and several cars. We counted 5 bullet holes in the Subaru Impreza alone. Police say no one was struck or injured.
For this to turn out the way it did, this is great for everybody involved. No civilians were hurt, few cars were shot up, and all the law enforcement walked away and carried on with their day.
State police say 10 people in the apartment building were evacuated. Law enforcement made entry into remaining apartments. We're told nearby schools went into lockout mode for more than an hour, meaning no one could come in or out of the building. Derby Line Elementary School principal, who did not wish to speak on camera, said instruction continued and kids could move freely throughout the school, as it wasn't an immediate threat. As of Monday afternoon, VSP said the scene was contained. Police say they are familiar with the suspect, but he's had no prior criminal history with Vermont State Police. It's important to note this comes just a week after a mother and son were shot and wounded in nearby Holland, Vermont. But police say there is no connection between that shooting and what happened Monday morning. Reporting in Derby Line, I'm Jolie Sherman. Students marched around campus Monday before congregating outside the Waterman building as part of the Survivor Solidarity Walkout. Some of their demands include better prevention trainings and a clearer reporting process. A sea of students stood in solidarity for survivors of sexual violence. Catamounts marched with signs before listening to testimonies from their peers.
Just being there and for being here. Thank you.
UVM student Athena Hendrick was assaulted in February 2020. She's outraged by the way the school handled her case, but she comes forward and inspired others to do the same.
I also am a survivor. I think a lot of people still don't know what consent really is and the levels of it.
Another says Monday's turnout is a message in and of itself.
It shows how big of an issue this is to the student body. this is a problem. We all think it's a problem, and you should too.
UVM's interim vice provost of student affairs says the school is quickly responding to students' demands.
There's a big focus on training in sexual violence prevention, which I think is critically important. Students are asking for staffing and resources to be visible.
She says staff are also reevaluating the reporting process. Students took a moment of silence at times and applauded Athena's bravery. Lieutenant Governor Molly Gray voiced her support, saying, quote, "I see you and I believe you."
Even though we only have like 1 week left of classes and like 2 weeks of finals before we all head home, it's really telling of the dedication of the student body to these issues that affect us directly.
Jolie Sherman, Local 22 News, Burlington.
This week, nearly 2/3 of people on vouchers for Vermont's motel program won't have a place to call home. This as the 84-day extension granted to homeless individuals, including those who are seniors, pregnant, domestic assault survivors, or with disabilities, ends on Thursday. Local 22's Jolie Sherman is live tonight in the newsroom with more. Jolie?
Lauren, Vermont Legal Aid and housing advocates are coming together to ask the state for more time. As of now, more than 500 households will lose access to emergency housing.
It's just really hard. I'm scared to death, and I'm sure everybody else is. When Thursday comes, what are we gonna do?
A question on the minds of more than 500 individuals in the state who will reach their 84-day limit in motels, which is why Vermont Legal Aid and housing advocates are demanding the state step in and grant another extension.
When the legislature approved the administration's plan to offer benefits for only 84 days, circumstances were really different.
But with the Delta variant and winter here soon enough, they say the timing isn't right.
Most of us are afraid for our lives, just winter itself, because if you're homeless in winter and you can't end up in somewheres, whether it be Good Samaritan or up in here, people will freeze to death.
In a letter to the Department for Children and Families, VLA and community providers are asking to extend benefits as long as there are rooms available. And with FEMA recently extending its financial aid good through the end of the year, housing advocates are not comfortable terminating the benefits.
We urge the Department of Children and Families to take advantage of FEMA funding. Why not? In this period of uncertainty and crisis, why wouldn't you use that funding to provide some more protection?
Community provider Rick DeAngelis estimates the time limit will leave 50 to 75 people in Washington County without a home.
I can't say enough about the disabilities and leaving people on the streets. I mean, it's just not fair to us at all. I mean, what do they expect us to do, really, honestly?
The letter also points out that while the state is investing in affordable housing and additional shelters, no units or beds will be available by this Thursday. One drop-in site in Montpelier is supplying camping gear, such as tarps, tents, sleeping bags, as well as meals to those in need. But the provider says these are only, quote, Band-Aid solutions. Reporting live in the newsroom, Jolie Sherman, Local 22 News.
One Vermonter is coming up on a big birthday. He's a World War II vet, and tomorrow he's turning not 90, not even 100, but 107. Local 22's Jolie Sherman is live in the studio tonight with more on his story. Jolie?
Lauren, Lennys Birthday is in fact Vermont's oldest World War II vet, serving in the U.S. Navy for 2.5 years. This afternoon, friends and family gathered together for a little celebration. Friday afternoon, Lennys Birthday was the man of the hour. Friends and family members at Harbor Village Senior Communities in South Burlington came together to ring in a big birthday.
Tomorrow I will be 107.
And Lenny is ready.
Here we go.
A phrase he commonly says and perhaps lives by.
He's got an incredible will to live, just enjoys life, never meets a stranger, and I think his attitude says it all. We just happen to call him Dad.
At his own birthday party, Lenny got up from his chair and sang to the crowd.
I have the distinction of being the oldest serviceman in Vermont, but there are so many others that should have the same honor. I'm just plain lucky to be here at this time.
The war vet and survivor of not one, but 2 pandemics says he's lucky to have his children by his side.
I am the most grateful father of having the 3 so-called children who are now adults that take care of Papa. And that's the most important thing for a family to have, is compatible family to love each other.
Lenny's friends and caregivers at Harbor Village say for 107, he's independent and still sharp as a tack.
The most important thing of living is keep breathing. That's not funny, but it's accurate. Retain a sense of humor, because you are in better condition when you laugh than when you cry.
I asked Lenny how he feels about turning 107. He answered with a grin.
It means that I'm still alive with God's grace.
Lenny officially turns 107 tomorrow, and he's quite the celebrity. Lauren, a few years ago, he got over 100 birthday cards in the mail, and today he got a pretty significant stack. Reporting live tonight, Jolie Sherman, Local 22.